Hi everyone, welcome to TESPERT India. So in the previous class of percentages, we solved some basic models and we understood all the concepts. So in this class, we will delve into some level 1 problems, right? So in the upcoming tutorials, we will be moving towards the level 2 and the previous CAT questions, right? So let's get started. A shopkeeper charges sales tax of X% up to rupees 2000 and above it he charges Y%. A customer pays total tax of rupees 320 when he purchases the goods worth 6000 and he pays okay and he pays the total tax of rupees 650 when the goods worth were 12,000. Okay, and he purchased the goods worth rupees 12,000. He paid 680 rupees as tax, right? Okay, so the value of x minus y. Okay, we must calculate that value. So what is the meaning of this question? So when a person, okay, when the person purchases 2000 rupees, he must pay, I mean the shopkeeper charges x% tax, right? But if he purchases more than this, okay, let's say he purchases goods of goods worth rupees 2500, so it exceeds 2000 rupees, right? Then the shopkeeper charges y% tax. Okay, so we must find out the difference between x and y, right? So for 2000, okay, so the question, here the customer pays 320 rupees as tax when he purchases 6000 rupees, and he pays 680 rupees as tax when he purchases 12,000 rupees, right? So 6000, in the sense, for the first 2000 rupees he pays x% tax, and the remaining 4000 rupees he pays y% tax, right? In this 12,000 case, the person pays x% for the first 2000 rupees, and for the next, the remaining 10,000 rupees, he pays y% tax. This is the meaning of the question. Okay, so we shall take this for 2000. So this is the first case we are taking. So for 2000, the person pays x% of that, x% of 2000 plus what is remaining is 4000. So total is 6000, right? So 2000 plus 4000 into, here he pays y%. Y% means y by 100. Okay, that is equal to, we are just calculating the tax. See, we are calculating the x value, x% of 2000 and y% of 4000. Okay, so what is the total tax paid? When he purchased goods worth 6000, he paid 320 rupees, so that is equal to 320. Fine. In the second case, we have to calculate x% of 2000. Okay, so x% of 2000 plus y% of 10,000, right? Y% of 10,000. Okay, so in the second case, how much tax did he pay? 680 rupees, right? 680 rupees. Okay, so here just calculate this. 20x plus 40y is equal to 320. This is the equation 1. And in equation 2, what do we get? As equation 2, we get 20x plus 100y is equal to 680 rupees, right? So we must calculate this. Okay, this becomes minus and this becomes minus, right? So after calculation, we get y as 6 and x as 4. Okay, so we must calculate the value of x minus y. So x is equal to 4, y is equal to 6. So x minus y is equal to 4 minus 6, which is equal to minus 2, right? Hope you understood this. See, we are calculating x percentage of 2000, y percentage of the remaining value. Here the remaining value is 4000 because 2000 plus 4000 is equal to 6000. Whereas in second case we are calculating x percent of 2000 and y percent of the remaining one. What is the remaining one? 10,000, because 10,000 plus 2000 is equal to 12,000. Why we are taking x percent of 2000? Because up to 2000 the shopkeeper charges x percent. If anything exceeds 2000, then he charges y percent on that exceeded part, right? So that's why we are calculating separately, right? Hope you understood. 40% of a number when added to the square of the same number, okay, added to the square of the same number, then it is increased to 4040% of itself. Okay, the actual number is fine. So 40% of a number, we do not know that number, right? So we shall take the number as x, right? Okay, so 40% of x when added to the square of that same number, square of the x, is increased to 4040% of itself. Okay, so we shall do this. See, I will explain you here. So 40% of x plus square of the same number, that means square of x, x square is equal to 4040% of itself. So 4040% of itself in the sense of x, right? So what is 40% of x? It's 40 by 100 into x plus x square is equal to 4040 by 100 into x, right? So just calculate 40x plus 100 square, 100x square is equal to 4040x, right? So 100x square minus 4040 x is equal to 0 and x will be equal to 40. Okay, just calculate this. X will be equal to 40. You can assume anything. Here we assume that unknown number to be x. You can assume anything. XTW. Okay, XTW is a very popular TV channel. It telecasts the programs from 8 a.m. Okay, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Okay, so 12 p.m. means 12 p.m. means noon, right? 12 noon. Okay, it telecasts 60 advertisements each of 8 seconds. Okay, 60 advertisements of each one of 8 seconds and 16 advertisements of each one of 30 seconds, right? So what's the percentage of time devoted in a day for the advertisements? Fine. So here 60 ads are being advertised. Okay, 60 ads are being advertised and the duration of each ad is 8 seconds. So the total duration is 60 into 8, right? It is equal to 480 seconds. And in the second case it is 16 ads and each ad is of 30 seconds, then the total duration is 16 into 30, which is equal to again 480 seconds. Okay, but how long these two are being telecasted? Okay, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., right? So from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. That means 4 hours, right? So 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, and 11 to 12. Okay, 4 hours. So 4 hours into, so we shall, as we converted this into seconds, we shall convert 4 hours into seconds. So 4 hours into 60 minutes into 60, 60 into 60, which is equal to how many? 4 into 6, how much? 4 into 60 into 60. 14400 seconds, right? So what's the percentage of time devoted in a day for the advertisements? These two comprise of 480 plus 480. So 480 plus 480 by 14400, okay, into 100. We are asked to calculate the percentage of time, right? So into 100. So how much it is? 480 plus 480, 960. 960 by 140 into 100, that is equal to, here I will write 6.66%. Okay, so the total time, the percentage of time devoted in a day for these advertisements is 6.66%. The cost of packaging of the mangoes is 40% the cost of fresh mangoes themselves. The cost of mangoes increased by 30%, but the cost of packing decreases by 50%. Then the percentage change of the cost of packed mangoes, if the cost of packed mangoes is equal to the sum of the cost of fresh mangoes and cost of packaging. Okay, so here fresh mangoes and the packing, and we shall consider the total price of one packing. So if the fresh mangoes cost is 100 rupees, okay, let's assume it to be 100, then the cost of packaging of the mangoes is 40% of the cost of fresh mangoes. That means 40% of 100, which is equal to 40 rupees. Okay, let's assume if it is 100 rupees, then it will be 40 rupees. Okay, so the total cost of the mangoes including the packaging cost is 100 plus 40, which is equal to 140, right? 140 rupees. Okay, so now what happened? The cost of mangoes increased by 30%. Now this 100 is increased by 30%. So what happens? 100 becomes 130. Okay, 100 becomes 130, and the cost of packaging decreases by 50%. So 40 is decreased to 50%. 40 is decreased to 50%. Then what happens? 40 becomes 20, right? So in the second case, the cost of fresh mangoes including the packaging cost is 130 plus 20, which is equal to 150. Okay, so the percentage change, we are asked to find the percentage change, right? We are asked to find the percentage change. So here 140 and the new one is 150 rupees. So 150 minus 140, so difference by the initial value. What is the first value? 140. 150 minus 140 by 140 into 100, which is equal to 10 by 140 into 100, that is equal to 7.14% increase, because it increased from 140 to 150 rupees. So 10% increase is there, 10 rupees increase is there. Okay, 10 rupees increase is there. So as far as percentage increase is concerned, it is 7.14%. okay, to express if we express that in percentage increase, then it will be 7.14%. Abhinav scores 80% in physics and 66% in chemistry, and the maximum marks of both the papers are 100. Okay. What percent does he score in maths, which is of 200 marks? If he scores 80% of marks, 80% marks in all the three subjects, right? So he scores 80% in physics, okay, and the maximum marks of both the papers is 100. That means he scored 100 out of 100 marks. He scored 80% in physics. So out of 100, maximum marks of physics paper is 100, and maximum marks of chemistry paper is also 100. Out of that, he scored 66, plus maximum marks of maths paper is 200 marks. Okay, maximum marks are 200, and we do not know how much he scored, so let it be x. He scored x marks, okay, out of 200 in maths subject. Maths, this is chemistry, this is physics. Okay, but one more thing is there, 80% marks in all the three subjects. Okay, so he scored 80% marks in all the three subjects. In maths, physics and chemistry, he scored 80% of marks. So what is the total marks, maximum marks? 200 plus 100 plus 100, which is 400. So out of this 400, he scored 80%. So what is 80% of 400? 80 by 100 into 400, which is how much it is? 320, right? 80% of 400 is 320. So overall he scored 80% out of the total marks, and he scored physics 80, chemistry 66, and maths x. So we need to find x, right? So what percent does he score in maths? So we need to find x. So here we shall do it. X will be, so just take LCM and calculate that. We will get x as 174, right? So 174, he scored 174 marks in maths, but this is marks. We expressed in marks, but we must express in percentage. What percent, right? So 174 by out of 200, maths paper is for 200, right? So 174 by 200 into 100, so it is 87%. He scored in maths. So 80% he scored in physics, 66% scored in chemistry, because the maximum marks of physics is 100. Out of that, he scored 80 marks. So 80 marks he scored, which means 80%. So 66 marks he scored in chemistry, but the maximum marks are also 100. So 66 marks means 66%. Here, out of 200, he scored 174 marks in maths. 174 by 200 into 100, which is 87%, right? So if you add this in order to check whether this 320 is correct or not. 174 plus this 66, right? This 80, just check, 0, 8, 6, 7, 2, and 1 plus 2 is 3. See, 320 we got, right? Let's move on to the next one. In the New York Stock Exchange, there are 45% female employees, and thus the number of male employees is exceeded by 72. Hence, the total number of employees in the New York Stock Exchange is, right? So what happened here? See, let us take 100 as the total number of employees, right? So out of this 100, female employees are 45, right? Female employees are 45% out of 100, 45%. So out of 100%, 45% are female employees and the rest are male employees. That is 55%, right? So the difference here is 55 minus 45, which is 10%, right? So here the number of male employees is exceeded by 72. So 10% is the difference. So 10% is 72. Okay, 10% is 72. Then we have to find the total number of employees. So 100% is how much? 100% is how much? Just find out. Just cross multiply 100 into 72 by 10, which is equal to 720, right? So 720 are the total number of employees. The cost of a car is 400% greater than the cost of a bike. If there is an increase in the cost of the car is 15% and that of bike is 20%, then the total increase in the cost of the 5 cars and 10 bikes is okay. So let us consider the cost of the bike to be 100, right? And here we shall consider car. So this will be 500 because the cost of a car is 400% greater than cost of a bike. So if the cost of the bike is 100, then 400% greater than cost of this. So 400% of 100 plus 100, which is equal to 500, right? So this will be the cost of the car. And if there is an increase in the cost of the car is 15%, so there is 15% increase in the cost of the car. So what is 15% of 500? 15% of 500 is 75. So 500 plus 75, so 500 becomes 575, which is 500 plus 75, right? And the increase in bike is 20%. So what is 20% of 100? It's 20, right? So 100 plus 20 becomes 120. So 120 is the new value. 575 here is the new value. Now the initial this is the initial price of bike and initial price of car, and this is the final price of bike and final price of car. But here the quantity is given, then the total increase in the cost of 5 cars and 10 bikes, right? So 5 cars and 10 bikes. So if you multiply 5 cars here, 500 into 5, which is equal to 2500, and 10 bikes, 100 into 10, which is equal to 1000, right? So in this case 120 into 10 bikes, which is equal to 1200, and in this case 575 into 5 cars, which is equal to 2875. So we need to calculate the total increase in the cost of 5 cars and 10 bikes. So what is the total increase, okay, in the cost of 5 cars and 10 bikes? So percentage increase is equal to difference by initial value into 100. Okay, so initial cost is equal to 40,000 plus 2500. Why? Because initial cost of bike plus initial cost of car is equal to 3500, and what is the final cost? Final cost is equal to 1200 plus 2875, which is equal to 4075, right? So this is the final cost, this is the initial cost of 5 cars and 10 bikes. So just calculate the difference. 4075 minus, here we will do 4075 minus 3500 by initial value. What is the initial value? 3500, right? So 3500 into 100, that is equal to 115 by 7. This is equal to 16.3 by 7 percentage. 16.3 by 7 percentage. Percentage change or the percentage increase is 16.3 by 7 percentage. See, I will just explain you once again. This is the price, initial price of the bike. Okay, so if 100 is the initial price of the bike, then the car, the price of the car is 400% greater than bike. So 400% greater means it becomes 500, right? It becomes 500. Then if one bike is 100, then 10 bikes are 1000. If one car is 500, then 5 cars are, the total price of 5 cars is 2500. Okay, but in the second case, the price of the bike is increased by 20%, so it becomes 120, and here the price of car is increased by 15%, which becomes 575. In this case also calculate the price of 10 bikes, 120 into 10, which is equal to 1200, and in this case calculate the number of cars, 5 cars, price of 5 cars, 575 into 5, which is equal to 2875, right? So add the initial values, initial value of bike 10 bikes and initial value of 5 cars, 1000 plus 2500, which is equal to 3500, and the final price of the second case, final price of 10 bikes plus final price of 5 cars, which is equal to 4075. So we shall find the percentage change or the percentage increase in this case. So 4075 minus 3500, because we have to calculate the difference by, this is the initial value, so this will be in the denominator, right, into 100. So after this we will get 16.3 by 7 percentage as the percentage increase. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The monthly salary of Shahid and Karina together is $28,000. Okay, the salary of Shahid and Karina is increased by 25% and 12.5% respectively, right? So 25% and 12.5% respectively. Then the new salary of Karina becomes 120% of the new salary of Shahid. Okay, the new salary of Shahid is, right? So let the salary of Shahid and Karina be yes. Okay, let the salary of Shahid be yes, and let the salary of Karina be K, right? So S plus K, both the salaries are together, both the salaries is 28,000, right? 28,000. Okay, we shall ignore dollars. Okay, 28,000. Okay, and what is given? The salary of Shahid is increased by 25%, right? So Shahid's salary is increased by 25% increase. Okay, 25%. So the new salary of Shahid becomes yes plus, that is old salary plus 25% of yes, right? So what is the fraction equivalent of 25%? 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 into s becomes s by 4. So take LCM, we will get 5s by 4. Okay, so before 25% increase, the original salary was yes, and after 25% increase, the new salary, the current salary is 5s by 4. And take Karina's case. The salary of Karina has been increased by 12.5%. So 12.5% increase, right? So the new salary is old salary plus 12.5% of old salary, which is K. So K plus what is fraction equivalent of 12.5%? 1 by 8, right? So 1 by 8 into K, which is K by 8. So what is the final salary? I mean the current salary? 9K by 8, right? So this is the current salary of Karina. Okay, and now what's the question? The new salary of Shahid is, right? So the new salary of Karina becomes 120% of the new salary of Shahid. The condition is given, right? The new salary of Karina becomes 120% of new salary of Shahid. So this one becomes 120% of this. So we will write it here. Yeah. 9K by 8, which is the salary of Karina, becomes 120% of salary of Shahid, which is 5 years by 4, right? So 9K by 8 will be equal to 120 by 100 into 5 years by 4, right? Let me erase this. Let me clear this. Yeah. So we shall find the ratio. After just calculate this, you will get K by S. Okay, the salary of Karina and the salary of Shahid will be in the ratio of 4 by 3. So 4x represents Karina's salary and 3x represents Shahid's salary, right? So in this form we will in this ratio we will divide the salary. What is the entire salary? It's 28,000, right? 28,000, of course, $28,000. So Karina and Shahid. Karina and Shahid ratio is 4:3. Just calculate now. Let me erase this. Yeah. So Shahid's salary will be 3 by 4 plus 3 into 28,000. Okay. This will be equal to 12,000, right? And if Shahid's salary is 12,000, then what will be Karina's salary? It's 28,000 minus 12,000. That will be equal to 16,000. 16,000 is Karina's salary. 12,000 is Shahid's salary, right? So this is the original one. But here we are asked to find out the new salary of Shahid, right? So what is the new salary of Shahid? 5 years by 4. So just substitute 5 into what is S here? 5 into 12,000 by 4. 4 ones are 4 3s are 12 and 5 into 3, which is 15,000. So this is the new salary of Shahid. See, what we did here is, this is a simple one. First we calculated the original salary. Okay, after calculation we calculated the new salary of Shahid, the new salary of Karina. But the condition given here is Karina's salary becomes 120% of new salary of Shahid. So we equalized. Karina's salary is equal to 120% of Shahid's salary, right? And we got the ratio as 4 by 5, 4:5. Okay, so in this ratio we divided the amount between Karina and Shahid. So 12,000 is the salary, initial salary of Shahid, but we want this, we want the current salary, new salary. So substitute is 12,000, 5 into 12,000 by 4, which is equal to 15,000. 15,000 is the new salary of Shahid. 12,000 was the original salary of Shahid, right? 220% of a number is 44. What is 44% of that number? So 220%. So what is 220%? 220 by 100, right? 220% of a number. We do not know that number. So let us keep that number as x. Okay. So 220% of x is 44. Did you understand? 220%, this 220% of a number, we assume that number to be x. Let the number be x, right? 220% of the number is 44. Okay. So find out x here. X will be equal to by 220. So x is equal to 20. Now the question is, what is 44% of that number? So what is 44% of 20? So 44% of 20, that is equal to 44 by 100 into 20. This is equal to, just calculate, 2 5 so 8.4% of that number is 8.8. That means 44% of 20 is 8.8. In a school, there are 1800 students. Last year, except 4% of boys, all the students were present in the school. Today, except 5% of the girls, all the students are present in the school. But in both the days, number of students present in the school was same. The number of girls in the school is okay. So the total number of students, the total number is given, right? Which is 1800. So in this 1800 we have boys and we have girls, right? So 4% of the boys, except 4% of the boys, all the students were present. So here, except 4% of the boys, except 4% means we have to subtract 4%. So there will be 96% boys plus 100% girls, right? There is no reduction in the percentage of girls. It's not mentioned here. Whereas in second case, except 5% of girls, all the students are present. So 5% students, 5% girls were absent, but remaining 95% girls were present plus 100% boys were present. Understood? So here 96 by 100 into b, which is equal to 0.96 b plus 100% girls is equal to b plus 0.95 z. Why here we equalize this? Why? Because all the students, okay, see here, but in both the days number of students present in the school were same. So in both the days, on this day and this day, number of students who are present were same. So we must equalize, right? So just calculate g minus 0.95 g is equal to here b minus 0.96 b, right? So 0.5 z is equal to 0.5 b. We get g by b is equal to 4 by 5, right? So this is the ratio of girls and boys, right? 4:5, right? So total number of students are 1800, and girls and boys are in the ratio 4:5. So 4 parts of 800 are girls and 5 parts of 800 are boys. So just calculate. We want number of girls, right? So 4 by 4 plus 5 into 1800. This is the number of girls. Okay, number of girls. So 4 by 4 plus 5 into 1800. So the number of girls will be 4 by 9 into 1800. That will be equal to 800. 800 girls. So if 800 are girls, then number of boys will be 800. 1800 minus 800. So 1000 are number of boys and 800 are number of girls, right? So in a library, 60% of the books are in Hindi, 60% of the remaining are in English, and the rest of the books are in French. If there are 3600 books in English, then the total number of books in French are, okay, so let us assume the total number of books to be 100, right? So out of this 100, 60% books are Hindi, right? And remaining are 40% are remaining, okay? And the remaining are English. So out of this 40%, right, 60% of the remaining are English. So out of this 40%, 60% are English. So 60% of 40% is how much? 60%, so 60 by 100 into 40%, 60% of 40 is 24, right? So 24 is English. 24 books are English, and 24% of percentage of books are English. And what is the remaining percent? 40 minus 24, which is 16. 16 are French. 24% are English, right? So here what is given? If there are 3600 books in English, which means 24% is equal to 3600, right? Then the number of books in French are, so if 24% is 3600, then 1%, let's calculate 1%. 1% is equal to 3600 by 24, which is equal to 150, right? 1% is equal to 150. Then what is French? That is 16%. Calculate 16%, which is 16 into 150. That is equal to 2400. So total number of French books are 2400. In a test, there are total n questions. A student answers 20 out of 25 questions correctly in the first section. In the second section, he answers 60% questions correctly, and thus his total score is 66.66% in the test. Given that all the questions carry equal marks without any negative marking, so the total number of questions in the test is, right? Okay, so it is better to proceed with the options first. We shall check the options, right? So 60% in the first section he scored 20 out of 25 questions, right? Okay, we shall take option A here. So the total number of questions, let the total number be 50. So what is given? The student got 20 out of 25 questions. He answered 20 correctly out of 25 questions in first section. So he answered 20 out of 25 questions correctly, right? In the second section, he answers 60% questions correctly. So if 50 are the total number of questions, and in section A there are 25 questions, then what will be the number of questions in section B? 25, right? Already 25 are there out of 50, so remaining are 25. So out of this 25, he answered 60% questions correctly. So 60% of 25. 60% of 25. Calculate here. 60 by 100 into 25. That is equal to 35. That is equal to 15. Okay. So he answered 15 questions correct out of 25 in section 2, right? So 20 plus 15 will be equal to 35. 35 by 50 into 100. Calculate the percentage. Is this equal to 66.66% or not? Just calculate. 35 by 50 into 100. No, this is not equal to 66.66 because 35 into 2 will be equal to 70%. So option 1 is not correct. Okay. So let us take 75 let the total number of questions be 75. If 75 are the total number of questions, then in the first section out of 25 questions he answered 20 questions correctly. Okay. So in the second section the total number of questions will be 50 because out of 75 already 25 questions are there in section 1. So the remaining questions are 50. So out of 50 he scored 60% of the questions as correct. So 60% of 50, that is equal to 30 questions, right? So 30 questions he answered correct, and in section 1 he answered 20 questions correct. So 50 questions correct overall. So 50 by total number of questions 75 into 100. So just calculate. Here we will get this is equal to 66.66%. Just calculate the percentage, right? So this is equal to 66.66%. So option B is correct, right? In a class of MBA students, 16.66% students are from science background and 12.5% students are from commerce background, and 6.66% students from arts background, and rest are from engineering background. The minimum possible students of engineering background are, okay, so let us assume the total number of students to be x. Okay, total number of students to be x. We have 4 categories, right? We have 4 categories. The first one is the science students. The second category is commerce. The third one is arts, and the fourth one is engineering. So 16.66% of x of the total number. This is the total number of students, right? Total number of students. So 16.66 of total number. So what is the fraction equivalent of 16.66%? 1 by 6. So x by 6. And 12.5% of students are from commerce background. 12.5% of x. So what is the fraction equivalent of 12.5%? It's 1 by 8. So x by 8. And arts, 6.66% of total students are from arts. So what is fraction equivalent of 6.66%? 1 by 15. So x by 15. And engineering, coming to engineering, the rest of are from engineering background. That means out of this the total number of students, if we subtract all the remaining students, we will get engineering graduates, right? So we shall do this x minus, right, total science students x by 6, total commerce students x by 8, and total arts students x by 15. Okay, so just calculate x minus, take LCM, we'll get 20x plus 15x plus 8x by, the LCM is 120, and x minus 43x by 120, right, and 120x minus 43x by 120. So 120x minus 43x, which is equal to 77x by 120. So here what is what has been asked here? The minimum possible students of engineering background. So if we don't know x, but what can be the minimum possible number? So 77x by 120, right? So if we make x as 120, then what happens? 77 into 120 by 120. So 120 and 120 get cancelled. So the answer will be 77. This is the not may not be the accurate answer, but this is the minimum possible number of students coming from engineering background. So this is how did we calculate the minimum possible number? See, we have x, right? So the minimum possible number will be the number which is divisible by the denominator. So here 120 is the denominator. So if x is also the denominator, they will be cancelled, right? So 77 is the remaining thing, and 77 is the minimum possible students. Okay. A salesman gets commission on total sales at 9%. If the sale is exceeded rupees 10,000, he gets an additional commission as bonus of 3% on the excess sales over 10,000. Okay, if the sales are exceeded by 10,000, he gets extra commission, extra bonus of 3%. Okay, if he gets total commission of rupees 1380, then the bonus received is, yes, let the total number of sales be x, right? So what did he so out of 10,000, okay, out of 10,000, 9% he would get, because till 10,000 the commission that he gets is 9%. So what is 9% of 10,000? This is 900, right? So but he received 1380. Okay, total commission that he received is 1380. So that just subtract 1380 and 900, we will get 480, right? So he made 10,000 sales. I mean the sales the sales till 10,000, for 10 till 10,000 he got 900 as the commission, right? But the total commission he got is 1380. So he must have received some extra bonus for exceeding this 10,000 rupees sales, right? So how to calculate that? So we subtracted 1380 minus 1380 with 900, this 9%. So 480 is the remaining. However, this 480 includes two things. The one is bonus of 3% and commission of 9%. So both are included. But here we want only the bonus. We have to find the bonus that he received, right? So how to find? See, the percentage of commission that he receives is 9% and the percentage of bonus is 3%. So what is the ratio here? Ratio is 3x 3 is to 1, which is 3x and 1x, right? So in this ratio we shall divide this 480, right? So ratio of this bonus is 1x, right? So 1 by 3 plus 1, 3 parts plus 1 part into 480. 480. So 1 by 4 into 480, that will be equal to, just calculate, 120 rupees. So the bonus that he received is 120 rupees. A book consists of 30 pages, 25 lines on each page, and 35 characters on each line. If this content is written in another notebook consisting of 30 lines and 28 characters per line, okay, 30 lines and 28 characters per line, then the required number of pages will how much percent greater than the previous pages? Fine. So we have 30 pages in case 1, 30 pages, and each page has 25 lines, and each line has 35 characters, right? Whereas in second case, what do we have? We have number of pages we do not know, right? We do not know the number of pages, but so let that one be x, number of pages be x, and we know that each page has 30 lines and each line has 28 characters, right? So we must find out this. So x will be equal to 30 into 25 into 35 by 30 into 28, which is equal to 31.25. So 31 pages are completed, and 25% of the 32nd page is also completed. See, that means 32 pages, right? 32 pages, because see, this is, let's say this is 31st page and this is 32nd page. Okay, 31st page is completely written, and 32nd page you started and till 25%, okay, up to 25% you have written, but you will consider it to be 32nd page, right? So if someone asks you, so how many pages you have completed, then you will say 30 page. And what is the previous one? Previous one is 30 pages, right? So we shall find the percentage increase. So we know 30 from 32, it's 2 page increase, but we must find the percentage increase. Percentage increase is equal to 2 by, that is difference, 32 by 32 minus 30, which is 2, by initial one 30 into 100, that is equal to 6.66% increase, right? Next question. A number x is mistakenly divided by 10 instead of being multiplied by 10. What is the percentage error in the result? Okay, so a number x is mistakenly divided by 10. We do not know x, so let us assume the number be 100, right? So 100 is mistakenly divided by 10. So 100 is mistakenly divided by 10. So if it divides by 10, then what will be the result? 10, right? 10 tens are 100, right? But it should have been multiplied by 10. So 100 should have been multiplied by 10. Okay, so the result would be 1000. So instead of 1000 we got 10, because instead of multiplying we divided the number, right? So what is the percentage error in the result? So percentage error, so difference 1000 minus 10, 1000 minus 10 by 1000 into 100, right? Why we have taken 1000? Because this is the value which must be. So we should have gotten 1000, but we got 10 because of making this error. So 1000 minus 10 by 1000 into 100, which is equal to 10 by 1000 into 100, that is equal to this is 990, right? 990 by 1000 into 100, which is equal to 99%. See, minus 99% means decrease, so the percentage error is 99%. It should have been 1000, but we got 10 because instead of multiplying we divided 100 by with 10. In France, the rate of ticket to enter a zoo park is increased by 50% to increase the revenue. Okay, so the ticket has been increased by 50% to increase the revenue, but simultaneously 20% of the visitors decreased. So due to this increase, 20% of the visitors decreased. So what is the percentage change in the revenue of the zoo park? And if it is known that the center collects the revenue only from the visitors and it has no other financial supports. Okay, so here let us assume the original ticket to be 100, right? So if it is 100, then what is the what is the updated ones? 50% is increased, right? So 100 is increased to 50%, which will be equal to 150. So it is 150, and the number of visitors previously was 100. If we assume it to be 100, now 20% is decreased, so 100 becomes 80, right? So revenue in case 1 revenue, 100 visitors, each visitor must pay 100 rupees, right? But in second case, 100 became 150 and the number of visitors from 100 became 80. So in case 1, revenue is 100 visitors into 100 rupees, which is equal to 10,000 rupees. Whereas in case 2, right, 150 rupees is the ticket and number of visitors are 80. So the total revenue is 12,000, right? 12,000. So we are asked to find the difference, right? The percentage change is equal to difference, 12,000 minus 10,000 by initial value 10,000 into 100. So 2,000 by 10,000 into 100, which is equal to 20%. So plus 20% means 20% increase in the value, right? So the next question, the population of a village is 5,000 and it increased at a rate of 2% every year. After 2 years the population will be, so we solved these kind of problems in the previous session, right? So the present population is given, right? Present population is given, which is 5,000. It increases at a rate of 2% every year. So it increases 2% every year means we must add. So 100 plus 2, which is equal to 102. 102 by 100. For how many years? For 2 years, right? So it increases every year at the rate of 2% every year for 2 years, right? So 102 into 102 by 100 into 102 by 100. This is for first year, this is for second year, and we must find the population after 2 years, right? So this is for first year and second year. So calculate, cancel all of them, and we will get 5 into 102 into 102. So the population after 2 years will be 5,202. So thank you aspirants for listening, for watching the video, and we will be solving the advanced part and the previous CAT questions, right? So we will be solving the advanced part of all the arithmetic topics all at once. Why? Because the advanced part basically is a blend of, if you take any advanced level question, so that will be a blend of 2 to 3 concepts, right? So in order to solve any advanced problem, right, in order to solve any advanced problem, you must know almost all the at least all the basics of all the chapters. So we want to cover the introduction, the basic models of each and every chapter, at least till the moderate level, and then we will move to the advanced phase all at once. So we dedicated almost 7 to 8 weeks to cover the advanced part. We will do that, we will practice. So thank you so much, and in the Telegram group we will be providing you the soft copies, right, handouts, daily handouts. So practice them. We will also provide you the solutions, detailed solutions, so practice them, and all the very best. Thank you.